Straight ahead on CCX News, a law enforcement reminder about drinking and driving on St. Patrick's Day.
Especially now that it's going to be on a Friday night in our city, we're expecting a lot of vehicle and pedestrian traffic.
Then, a Minnesota senator draws attention to a school that's improving student performance, while students voice concern about immigration rules.
This is really affecting kids' ability to learn, and it's affecting their lives.
But first, get ready for an early start to road construction season that will impact drivers on I-94. CCX News starts right now. Thanks for joining us. Spring is right around the corner, but that's not the only thing that begins next week.
That's right. Monday is also the start of a major construction project on Interstate 94 between Brooklyn Center and downtown Minneapolis. As Delane Cleveland reports, drivers are bracing for lane closures and gridlock.
Every day, thousands of vehicles drive along I-94 between Shingle Creek Parkway in Brooklyn Center and Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis.
There's about 140,000 people a day that use it. So it's a significant stretch of road.
A significant stretch of road that's about to undergo a $46.3 million facelift.
This is an important project for Interstate 94. We're going to be doing some resurfacing and repairing bridges.
As a result, traffic on I-94 will be squeezed to 2 lanes in each direction on that 9-mile stretch from March until November. On top of that, from May through August, construction will close one side of the Lowry Hill Tunnel, meaning drivers will have to share a side using narrower lanes. The impact to traffic flow is imminent.
It's definitely going to add time. I mean, whether you're taking a detour or you're staying on 94, it's going to add time to your trip. So plan ahead, figure out where you're going.
MnDOT officials say that while the construction will definitely cause some delays, it's a project they can't avoid.
Well, if we wouldn't do this, the road would just crumble and you wouldn't be able to drive on it. I mean, eventually that's going to happen. That's what happens. I mean, the concrete only lasts for so long.
Such is life in the world of road work, where people will still be able to get from point A to point B, but it will just take a little longer than normal.
It's definitely going to have an impact. This is a very ambitious project. Things are going to be changing quickly on it.
On I-94, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Commuters are urged to check the project website and sign up for email alerts.
State Senator Warren Limmer of Maple Grove is back at work at the Capitol after suffering a minor heart attack this week. Limmer told Minnesota Public Radio that 2 stents were put in after he went in for treatment of chest pains on Monday. The 62-year-old senator was back at the Capitol for votes on Wednesday night.
Senator Al Franken is praising Brooklyn Center Arts and IB World School for improving performance. Franken toured the school Thursday morning.
They've had tremendous success. If you just look at a number in terms of graduation rates, they've gone to being kind of below the average in the state to pretty significantly above.
Franken's tour included a look at the school clinic and resource center. He says it is an example of what other schools should be doing. Students, staff, and the community can get medical, dental, and other assistance at the high school. The senator also met with teachers and students. While the focus was on education, immigration and deportation issues were also discussed.
Did see it, like I saw some kids crying. Deportation and stuff, and I was like, I talked to some of my friends, hey, it's gonna be okay.
I don't want to dismiss their anxiety at all, but I want to let them know that there are those of us who are going to be fighting very hard.
Senator Franken also addressed President Trump's newly released budget and the plan to cut education funding by nearly 14%. The senator calls that a bad idea that he plans to fight.
Local law enforcement will add extra DWI patrols on Friday for St. Patrick's Day. Statewide, the number of people arrested for driving while intoxicated often doubles when St. Patrick's Day falls on a weekend. Maple Grove Police will have several extra officers on duty for DWI enforcement. And getting arrested could cost you more than just the price of a ticket. There could be court expenses and the possibility of jail time.
There's always a concern for any kind of drinking and driving on St. Patrick's Day, especially now that it's going to be on a Friday night in our city. We're expecting a lot of vehicle and pedestrian traffic to be traveling through town. So we really want people to know that we're going to be out there in full force. We're going to have extra squad cars out there, strictly focusing on DWI enforcement.
And there's plenty of ways to get a sober ride home, including taxis, Uber, and Lyft. And on Friday night from 6 p.m. until Saturday morning, all Metro Transit buses, light rail lines, and North Star are free for riders. A Golden Valley-based General Mills is developing a grain that could be a game changer.
Our early research shows the grain could not only be good for the environment, it could be good for you. Reporter Shannon Slatton explains why.
We are very excited about the multiple uses that we can have with Kernza.
General Mills is excited about the possibility of commercializing a grain that would likely be new to you.
We have been working for 4 years with the University of Minnesota and the Land Institute on the development of a grass that is really native to prairie areas, and it's called Kernza.
Carla Vernon, who works on natural and organic strategy, says growing the grain could pack a positive punch for the environment as an earth-friendly, more sustainable grain.
When you work with these grains that have deeper roots and are perennial, you see less erosion, you see a more stable water table with cleaner water as an outcome, and you see at the surface level, as a cover crop, these perennial grains really help prevent weeds and prevent a lot of those invasive pests that farmers are working so hard to rid from the crops.
Research is in the works to determine the nutritional value of Kernza, which is believed to have more fiber and protein than traditional wheat.
Just got a little more of that toasty, nutty sweetness that we think is going to be delicious in cereals, or we have granola bars and snack bars. We see a lot of potential uses for Kernza wheat.
Initial plans are for Kernza to be used in the organic Cascadian Farm brand as soon as 2018, before it possibly expands to popular cereals or pasta. But this grain could be a game changer for the food industry because it has the potential to be better for you and better for the earth.
Kernza is a relatively new grain introduced to food, but we think that this is a wonderful start, and there are other small grains we are excited to learn about.
Kernza could also help reduce greenhouse gases from food production by trapping carbon in the soil. Scientists are still researching the benefits of Kernza. Mike?
All right, thank you. A new St. Cloud State graduate campus formally opened in Plymouth on Wednesday. Classes have been held at the new campus near the intersection of Highway 169 and Rockford Road since January. And school officials say the focus is on the workforce demands of employers. In Plymouth, that includes a medical technology program.
That strategy is around giving the industry in Minnesota the skills, the graduates with skill sets that they need to be competitive in a worldwide market. So that's not a coincidence, and it's all part of the strategy.
100 students currently attend classes at the Plymouth location. Well, coming up, how art teamed up with math and science is a winning combination.
And then later in sports, Champlin Park and Osseo get set to battle for a section championship in boys basketball.
But first, your AccuWeather forecast.
Welcome back. 2 magnet schools in the Osseo School District are once again tops in the nation. Maple Grove's Weaver Lake Elementary, a science, math, and technology school, and Brooklyn Park's Birch Grove Elementary School for the Arts earned awards of excellence and distinction from Magnet Schools of America. Both schools have won the awards before. At Birch Grove, the arts are infused into lessons on the core subjects such as math and reading, and the result is often improved student achievement.
Our research in-house really shows us that the kids that are in orchestra, band, troops, the musical, on the average have higher reading and math scores than their compatriots who don't choose to participate. So we are looking for ways to expand that because we really find the kids deeply involved in the arts achieve more.
The school's principals will receive the awards next month in California. In this week's Standout Student, we revisit a student who is already living his future.
Gabe Hostetler attends Armstrong High School, but as Shannon Slatton first showed us last November, he is already a successful filmmaker.
To make a music video, before you ever pick up a camera, a filmmaker must listen first. Visualize a story. And then the work begins.
He said he wanted a 70s theme, and that's all he told me.
Gabe Hostetler turned a music video into a story that wowed the judges and won Best Music Video at the American High School Film Festival in New York.
For them to really say, like, this is an amazing project, that really felt good, and that showed me that I need to keep doing this.
Gabe already does professional work on the side.
I edit at least 20 hours a week.
Earning money not by waiting tables, but by producing special projects.
I'm fortunate enough to get to work doing what I love. Let's do it again with more hand gestures.
But before graduation,
Action.
Gabe is leaving a mark on his high school. He is one of the leading forces behind a new production.
Well, what do you think about creating a legacy for Armstrong and doing something like Armstrong TV?
Welcome to Armstrong TV.
Armstrong TV, made possible by a grant from the Seven Dreams Foundation, is a show for students by students.
We develop Armstrong TV as a platform to entertain students while kind of showing all the beautiful parts of our school that sometimes go unseen.
He's doing this now, so he just continues to get better as he grows.
Gabe hopes to attend film school and eventually make feature films. If talent is any indication, Armstrong TV won't be Gabe Hostetler's only legacy.
I'm getting a head start right now, and I know going forward, this is something I want to do.
Well, coming up later, it's part history lesson, part springtime celebration, and it tastes good. We'll show you in a moment.
But first, Wayzata's boys basketball team ends a long state tournament drought. Jay Wilcox has the details coming up next in sports.
NCAA Division I basketball tournament. Number 21 Quinton Hooker of the University of North Dakota helped the Fighting Hawks to the Big Sky Conference tournament title, earning a berth into the NCAA tournament. Hooker was named tournament MVP and had 28 points in the championship game win over Weber State. The Fighting Hawks, the 15th seed in the West region, play number 2 seed Arizona Thursday night at approximately 8:50 p.m. in Salt Lake City. The game will air on TBS. Tuesday's Section 6 4A Boys Basketball Championship game featured a Hopkins team trying to get back to state to defend its title, while Wayzata was looking to reach the tournament for the first time since 1959. A good crowd on hand at Osseo High School for this one. Drew Gallinson hits a three-pointer for the Trojans to get them out to a 6-2 lead, one of 5 first-half threes for Wayzata. Ishmael Elamine curls around and hits a 15-footer for the Royals. He leads Hopkins in scoring with 17 points. Luke Paulson is one of several players to contribute off the bench for Wayzata. His three puts the Trojans up 22-11. Anthony Davis scores on a pull-up jumper for Hopkins late in the half, but Wayzata leads 31-19 at halftime. The Royals score the first 5 points of the second half. Zeke Naji with the basket plus a foul. It's a 7-point game. But the Trojans go on a 9-0 run that includes this Ryan Lindbergh floater. The senior scores 14 in the game. Jacob Benega drives and dishes to Alex Jensen for the short jumper as the Trojans maintain their double-digit lead. Benega with another drive and a pass to an open Gavin Baumgartner for the layup. Wayzata wins 66-51 to fulfill a season-long goal for the Trojans, a state tournament berth.
And we honestly talked about it, I think, most of the year, at the beginning of the year especially, but setting little goals this year to break it up all the way up to go to the Target Center. So, yeah, unbelievable feeling that we're finally going there.
On Saturday, the state tournament coaches will see the teams for next week's tourney. We'll have highlights of the Maple Grove Rogers 8 4A final Friday starting at 4 on CCX. Well, the Section 5 4A championship is up for grabs Friday night. Top seed Champlin Park is looking to get back to the state tournament for the second time in 3 seasons. The Rebels are gearing up to face a familiar rival, Osseo. The Rebels beat the Orioles by 17 points in the team's only regular season meeting this year. The teams have also had some memorable playoff meetings in past seasons. Champlin Park is the favorite, but they know they'll have to be ready.
They're a team that kind of, defensive-minded team with Coach Tyson and their team, but we feel like, you know, we played them before and we did well, so we feel like if we just do the same thing kind of and get better, and every day in practice we can play pretty well against them.
We've grown up. We've become better than we used to. We've been working hard. We put the time in the gym. It's just we're just glad that we can show it on the court.
We're not too worried about the last time we played them. It was earlier in the season. It's a big rival. You know, we've played Osseo well, and they've played well against us over the years. But, you know, we're going to prepare like we usually prepare for each team.
Meanwhile, the Orioles have come on strong as this season progressed after graduating some key players from their state tournament team of a year ago. The Orioles are coming off a nail-biting 62-61 win over Park Center in the semifinals on Tuesday. They've won 8 of their last 9 games and look forward to this section final.
It's definitely going to be a great experience for a lot of the younger guys to see what it's like to play in a section final. I know I was lucky enough to play in one last year, and I hope these guys come ready to play.
We got to come out there and prove, you know, we can play with these guys, and it's going to be a tough task, but I know we can play with them.
Another great challenge. You know, you want to be that team to go up against the #1 team in the state, have that opportunity to, you know, make history. So we look forward to it.
It's Osseo and Champlin Park Friday night at 7 at Rogers. State High School League rules don't permit us to air the game live while the state girls basketball tournament is on Channel 45. Watch the game Sunday night at 7 here on CCX Sports. The Maranatha Christian Academy girls basketball team is making its 8th straight state tournament appearance in Class A. Mariucci Arena, the site for their quarterfinal game against Ada Borup. Ada Borup starts fast. Emma Crochas buries a 3 from the top of the key, and the Cougars go up 9-0. Maranatha battles back, though. Kylie Post fights through the contact to score in the lane, and the Mustangs pull within 7 at 23-16. 8th grader Macy Smith steps up to bury an NBA range 3 as the comeback continues. They really like to run. Jacqueline Jarnett passes ahead to Sammy Payne all alone for the layup. Maranatha goes in front for the first time, 28-27. Post will get a steal and layup as Maranatha leads by 3 at the half, and they win a thriller in overtime, 67-65. Consolation play returned to the state tournaments in girls and boys hoops this season. The Park Center girls beat Minnetonka 74-60 in Class 4A Consolation Thursday. The Pirates will play White Bear Lake for the Consolation Championship Friday at 6 p.m. at Concordia University and St. Paul. Back to you, Mike and Alex.
All right, thank you very much, Jay, and we'll be right back.
Finally, think of it as a history lesson with a sweet reward.
The Eastman Nature Center on Saturday is holding its annual Maple Syrup Festival, a chance for families to see how maple trees are tapped for their sap that is then boiled down to syrup. Other kinds of trees can be tapped too, but the syrup won't be the same.
You can make a syrup from birch trees. They'll do that up in Alaska. I have tried it before. It's a real bitter tasting syrup though, so it doesn't make quite as good of a syrup. And then I believe that you can also make it out of walnut, but again, it's not as flavorful syrup as you get from the maple trees.
The maple is better because of the sugar content, of course, and the event runs 1 to 4 p.m. Saturday at the Eastman Nature Center. They also have the Log Cabin Sundays. That's ice cream covered with maple syrup.
That sounds good.
That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here on Friday, starting at 4 o'clock.